Well, it's been less than 48 hours since I released my build guide, and I guess that GG thought the buff they gave to Kinetic Blast yesterday just wasn't enough. Kitties, we now have all the skill gem info for the new gems that are coming out, and well, with that, we have two little bits of tech that we need to talk about that are likely going to make our build significantly stronger. The TLDR is that with some of these changes, we will likely not even have to play totems for tier 1 to tier 16 maps, and there's a high likelihood we can immediately swap to Kinetic Blast the moment you're done with heisting. So let's discuss what exactly is going to be changing and how this might potentially impact our build on day 1. The first little bit of tech is something another content creator came up with, Arrow. What he discovered is that you could potentially use advanced traps with Wall of Force, allowing you to put down multiple of them at once. While, yeah, we can't bounce Kinetic Blast between them, the point is that we're eating through them so fast that this is just going to give you more uptime, allowing for more of your Kinetic Blasts to hit more Walls of Force on average. Wall of Force was looking to be about a 20% DPS increase, and Arrow did go and test this with skills that have literally the exact same wording. This is likely going to make Wall of Force be around a 50% single target DPS increase, or a little bit more. We'll have to see. The point is that if this does work out, the swap over to KB would have been able to be done sooner for less money, and you wouldn't have to have farmed for as long. No matter what, we're going to be testing this when we can on launch, as this is likely going to be a pretty big deal. But the more important piece of tech that we need to discuss is the tooltip for Kinetic Fusillade. This skill is just a skill that's directly ported from PoE 2. And in PoE 2, this skill did very silly single target damage, and it's looking to do the exact same thing here. What it's going to do is quite simple. I can actually even show you because, like I said, it's a skill in PoE 2. Every time I press Ember Fusillade, or in PoE 1, Kinetic Fusillade, I'm going to generate a ball, which after a short delay gets shot out. If you have additional projectiles, you get to build more balls at once. And the important thing about this is that it has a 12% more damage multiplier for every single ball that got shot in the sequence. In PoE 1, the delay before all the balls get shot out is also half of what you're currently seeing. In PoE 2, it's 1.3 seconds. In PoE 1, it's going to be 0.7 seconds. So it's going to feel super snappy to play. And most importantly, it's going to do a very silly amount of damage. If we go and look at the tooltip of it, it has a base effectiveness of add damage of 107%. So if you run greater multiple projectiles, and then go over to the right side of the tree and pick up multi-shot, you will generate 6 of these projectiles every time. And we do know it's going to work like this because in the preview video, we can literally see the character running capital P on their Kinetic Fusillade, which is greater multiple projectiles. So with that and with multi-shot, you can then press it twice, you'll go to 12 stacks, and then that just means you immediately shoot out a barrage effectively every second for over 1,000% effectiveness of added damage. That's at least one way to interpret the skill, which would be really weird if it worked like that, because that's not how it works in PoE 2. The 12% more damage in PoE 2 is a multiplicative effect that applies to every single projectile. So what that means is your first projectile would do 107% effective SVAD damage, and then your second one would do 119. Your third one would do 134, and then 150, and then 168, and then 188. The point is, your final one would do 372, which is literally triple the damage. And if you add all this up together, you would be hitting for 2,577% effectiveness of add damage every single second. This is a lot of damage. And due to that, if we simply just stick to Mind the Council instead of going over to Wilma's, we will likely do some really good single target damage with this and be able to just immediately play Kinetic Blast because its only issue was its poor single target damage. Even if that's the incorrect interpretation of it, this skill has a guaranteed +3 chain, and it does a little explosion every time it happens. And what we were planning to do with Kinetic Blast is to run a Spellslinger Tornado setup, because that greatly helps the skill, which we'll talk about in the day 1 update. And Kinetic Fusillade would also be able to hit that tornado, which will always be on top of a boss, do the little explosion damage, which is full damage, and then chain onto the boss or chain off the boss into tornado. And the point is we'd basically be doing double damage. So no matter what, this skill is probably looking very strong. And what my plan is on day 1 is I'm going to get all the way to heist with totems. None of that is changing. The leveling guide is staying exactly the same way. You should just simply follow it to a T because I do not want to risk playing Ember Fusillade. I do not want to swap the whole leveling guide around it when this is tried and tested. We know it works, we know it's fast, and we know it's comfy. But after I do my heist and I get to T1 maps, I'm going to immediately buy a Kinetic Blast of Clustering. I'm going to buy a Kinetic Fusillade, and we're going to just test the skill out. And if it works, the build guide will immediately be updated on the spot, and we're going to discuss it in the day 1 update. I do recommend for you to come by my stream tomorrow and see this for yourself if you want to see this live and you don't want to wait for the update on YouTube. And if it does work, Then we completely get rid of totems, past tier 1 maps, and just play our build properly. Literally everything in the guide otherwise straight up gets to stay the same. So I wouldn't really have to change much other than simply removing every mention of Power Safe in the Archmage and literally just replace it with Kinetic Blasted Clustering. And then you simply wouldn't be buying the totem shield that we're getting in step 2 of the mana stacking swap. And you wouldn't be buying Wilma's, and you'd just be sticking to Mind the Council the whole time. Otherwise, almost everything else here is staying exactly the same. The clusters are staying the same. 99% of your gear is staying the same. The way we're going to be progressing the build is staying the same. Our trees are staying the same. Well, kind of. Our tree would be very close to what the KB swap tree would have been in the first place. And the point is, we'd have a comfortable time. I do not want to hype you up too much here. I know I kind of fluffed the skill up quite a bit, but again, please keep in mind, this is untested, and we're going to have to see how it works tomorrow. Even if it doesn't work, we still have Arrow's Tech, which is likely going to be a big deal, though we still have that to look forward to. Anyways, kitties, I'm super excited about this. I'm excited to go test it. And I really hope it does work out because I know a lot of people weren't too excited about having to farm 10 to 20 div or to play the totem setup for a day or two. And it looks like we might actually get our wishes and just completely circumvent that. As always, kitties, I'm going to be streaming League launch tomorrow. So feel free to come by my Twitch. Feel free to come watch. And as always, if you just want to come hang out and be a part of our community with the rest of the kitties, I do encourage you to come by our Discord or just hang out on Twitch chat with everyone else. Either way, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you sleep well tonight if you haven't gone to bed yet for League launch. And I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow.